so I'm going through some of the stuff people have sent me. And then really something about CRS. When you hear CRS, that would be the General Reserve of French National Police. So CRS are French National Police.
Mayor.
Good to know.
What is this? So, that's Blade Runner, right? Ryan Gosling, did I get that right? Harrison Ford. And that's on the TIAC. Turntable.
Quick thanks to
There's
Weaponized
the
Cats for your support. Thank you, Weaponized Cats. Let me thank
there's a riot in France.
Thanks so much, Duster Singer. Hey, that's really
As my YouTube channel is concerned. Just thinking, I have my
Thanks also to
Casio Solar Atomic Watch.
moderators who are here. Sarah 55, RJ, and DZ are all there over there on YouTube. I really appreciate it. They are the
And
ones who allow us to have chat.
it is
During our coverage. So thank you so much.
7:20 a.m. in Jerusalem.
Moderating right now.
So I'm thinking is,
I got that fire top of there.
I'll time the
So much.
hourglass
There on Facebook, Margaret Riley.
live on YouTube.
Larry Body moderating. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. Christina Neal's over there. Linda Bell moderating on Twitter. Thank you, Linda. Okay, on 8:47 p.m., sunset is around an hour. Will the big rides continue tonight in France?
So the thing about the Casio Solar Atomic, it's a rechargeable solar powered wristwatch. So it takes the barometric pressure for the altimeter, and then it will take the barometric pressure. You can see maybe every 2 minutes and 15 seconds, I think, for the field. So there's 0, right? And wait 1 second, and the hourglass starts. So I'll just leave it there. On the stereo system, a little closer. iPhone. So I don't know exactly how this hourglass is going, but that looks pretty good on the United Nations sticker, right, on the turntable. So NASA sticker, NATO sticker, United Nations sticker, Latitude coffee sticker, Apple sticker. So thinking this is Klaus Schulze, big in Japan, 2012. He died a couple weeks ago. Alexa, when did Klaus Schulze die?
Klaus Schulze died on April 26, 2022 at the age of 74 years.
So, yeah, I listened to Klaus Schulze. And we can start here. I think this is the first CD. It's 3 CDs. It starts out quiet. I listened on the Tower 501 Mirage speakers. And that company, so, yeah. Turn it up. It's kind of quiet when it starts. Still paused. Lots of listening. There.
Oh, here's something about Marseille where you can see some videos of some clashes in
So
Marseille.
this system gets pretty loud. So Sony tuner. Guess you could say. That's it. Bought it. It's new. It's new CDs, so maybe big in Japan. There he is. Klaus Schulze. Hard at Work, 2012. Hi, kitty. So I have a Japanese katana. It's hey Romeo. Right here. So I got it on Amazon a number of years ago, maybe 2019. So it's a katana. They send it to you on Amazon, black, gold, about $100. And it's Japanese, right? Samurai, servant of the government, I guess. So we'll see how far we get into Big in Japan tonight. It's only 3 minutes and 49 seconds, so yeah. Turn it up a little more. We have ceramic pig on the right hand side.
Sergeant. Right now, there are 1,068 other night managers training their warriors in the skills of battle. He was chosen to fight by Sergeant Morley. He won. He receives 25 honor points. The bounty for the Orc King of the Dark Forest has increased, and is now set at 650 diamonds. On your most recent hunt in the Dark Forest, you killed 10 orcs and were awarded 100 gold pieces as a reward during your recent expedition.
hour bonds with 85% more time. Who needs that much more time? Everyone's gonna need more time. It's a mess out there. That's why there's 85% more time at Power Bond. See? Goodness knows one thing. The more people you invite to your birthday, the more birthday shakes you get. Get Grimace's birthday shake with 10-piece McNuggets or a Big Mac when you order Grimace's birthday meal. Itch, itch, scratch, must not itch.
Alright, we're down to the last few seconds. It's 23:30, 30 minutes. So it's a half-hour glass. For all you Black Widows out there, after my YouTube channel has absolutely no one on the live part of it. Yep.
Fox. On Fox. Don't miss $1 Million Music Night with Pete Shazam. And don't forget the lyrics.
I have no clue.
We're gonna be moving, grooving, and giving away more money than ever. $1 Million Music Night, Tuesdays on Fox.
I hit the pause button on the NAD. So the NAD CD player, interestingly enough, is supposedly a German company. And that's it, you can almost see there. But the, supposedly, I think some of them come from London or something. It's interesting. It's really good though. Like, NAD, the TIAC is really good.
Exceptional price point.
And we'll go
Absolutely
with the Sony tuner.
Constantly asking yourself
More
throughout the day,
importantly, photography. Got the grilled cheese that stretch.
National Public Radio, usually KQED.
Fighting. Well done. Now, blue team. For me, honestly, it's clear that
KDFC, they moved their location.
into why you did not succeed.
We can go again.
So, I'll be grilling all 5 of you
It's only a
tonight.
half an hour later in
It's gonna be
Jerusalem, right?
why you should stay in this competition. I'll see you in the restaurant.
So 31:54, and I stopped the timer. Guess Gordon Ramsay's on Fox.
Sorry, sit down, please. Queen, sit down, please. Jared, take a seat, please. Let us sit down, please. And as you can see, the name is the back of the chair at that time here.
It is.
That didn't go to plan.
No.
From your point of view, why not?
It was stuff I've never done before.
You run a catering business.
I do.
As a team, this was yours.
We got Sunday.
Hands down.
This should have been ours to win. Luther runs a ghost kitchen. This is what he's good at. I'm not a ghost kitchen.
21:54.
That's great. This was in your wheelhouse, this challenge. I was expecting the reins to be held.
2023. And there's the barometric pressure
Which queen wanted to take those
on the solar atomic watch.
was not something
I could listen to Lord.
with her. I felt like supporting
It's
her
a
would be the
$40
best
record,
decision
though.
at that moment.
Why do I need that?
Question, what happens when two chefs are scientists?
Queen Elizabeth loved Lord.
Pizza get combined for the
There you go.
Mediterranean food. We get better bowls.
I walked in and I heard that was the statement and I thought it was a joke.
It makes no sense. Who in the hell came up with that?
I take responsibility for that. I felt like we needed to set ourselves apart from everybody else on the app.
So you went across the mission statement, but you were across the photography.
Correct.
At first glance, I don't know what I'm ordering.
That doesn't look like a bowl to you with eggplant and bulgur in it?
I think the guy from Uber Eats, being the CEO, knows you, if I'm honest.
I did not like that picture. I did not think that that was the best representation representation of the overall encompassing concept.
I made it clear on day one. A reverse seer is a very technical thing to get right.
I really genuinely believe the reverse here, basing on the letter, would prove something to be excellent.
I was trying to get too clever. Let me just say 2 words to you. Gluten-free.
I know. Well,
What's going on there?
I had no choice in the matter.
Who did put that on there?
So that's Queen, that's Chris, and that's Lamb. On the last minute, Queen said put, GMB on these things, and I just sat there and typed it out. I mean, she's the chef.
Gluten-free. What is burger? Crab? Wheat? Can you imagine you would catch that before in life?
There's no excuse. It was an error that should not have gotten past.
It's the reset. Stop this so focus. Get ready to buy the water. It's the easiest. And I think rather than love that, it is.
Alright, so we've got the paraffin oil here. Incidentally, the riots in Paris are still going on. It's the clear stuff. And
Ray Vaughan Williams' Serenade to Music for your Sunday night. Vernon Handley conducting that performance by the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Well, enjoy this long holiday weekend. Have a great 4th on Tuesday. Make sure you have KDFC with you. We'll bring you some patriotic favorites, perfect for whatever celebration you may be having on the 4th. I'm Linda Cassidy. I'll be back with you next Sunday. If you're staying up late, stay up with us. It's Classical California all night.
A generous way to support KDFC's programming for all is by becoming a Leadership Circle member with a yearly gift of $2,500 or more. Get more information at kdfc.com.
This is Classical California, KDFC 90.3 San Francisco, KXSC 104.9 FM and HD1 Sunnyvale, KOSC 89.9 Angwin, KDFG 103.9 Seaside, and worldwide at kdfc.com. A listener-supported broadcast service of the University of Southern California, home of the USC Elaine and Kenneth Leventhal School of Accounting.
It's just about 10 o'clock on this Sunday evening here on the West Coast. You're listening to Classical California all night, and I'm Sir Rich Partha. And first things first, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Rich Caparella, who was in this time slot until now. You can still hear him on Classical California KUSC in Southern California on the weekends at kusc.org or on the KUSC app. I'm so privileged to be with you on the Sunday late evenings, Monday early mornings from now on. Thanks for joining me. We start this 10 o'clock hour with music that Giacomo Puccini wrote before he was the opera composer that we all know him to be. This is his Adagietto in F major with Joanne Folletta leading the Long Beach Symphony Orchestra.
Getting your selection from Audible. Resuming The President's Daughter.
Up and hard. Around him he has a special blanket that his Chinese ally gave him years back. One designed to hide his thermal image from the cursed drones that continually fly, snoop, and try to track him down. The color of the blanket is identical to the bombs. Even to a trouble flying hurricane's entrance in the stormy winter is barely protected. Next to him is a small rucksack containing his Quran, a change of clothes, food, water. Against the rock wall is a loaded AK-47 semi-automatic rifle, and at his side is a 7.62mm Russian-made bipolar pistol. A few meters behind him, deeper into the cave, is the courier recalling the news of his family's death. Last night in his paper, Wilson had dreams of demons and dreams tearing apart his wife and little girls. And with the courier's arrival a few hours ago, the dream had indeed come true. Restaurants, hotels, and universities of New York, London, Paris, and Berlin.
He has visited these places many times, spreading money to quiet supporters, receiving assurances of future assistance when the time comes. But the life of the West, violence and nationalism, protected Germany's brothers and sisters to life of fat, lawless leisure. Next to his hands, rough, and small. Years ago, when he was just a student, these hands were soft and smooth, and he dreamed then of becoming a soldier. Through the generosity of a rich French family in Tunisia, he was able to spend nearly a year at the University of Tunis and North, studying medicine. There he had gotten drunk at war, but he also studied hard and eventually was until the college he had became too strong to endure. Hassan rubs his rough hands. A long time ago. It's been only a little while since the sun has risen, and he sits and tries to stay at peace, remembering how more than a century ago, Omar Mukhtar, peace be upon him, fought the Italians for years in this nation.
The Long Beach Symphony Orchestra and Joanne Falletta with the Adagietto in F major by Giacomo Puccini. We continue now with an absolutely sparkling work for piano and orchestra by Cyril Scott. This is early one morning. Martin Brabins leading the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra and pianist Howard Shelley.
Movement down below. Austin picks up a set of German-made Zeiss binoculars, focuses on what's coming up a barely visible mountain trail. There. A male and female, walking carefully up the narrow and stone-strewn path, even as they laugh and talk with each other. The bright red knapsacks they carry stand out against the harsh land they are casually strolling through. The man looks strong, young. His long blonde hair a similar shade to the woman's. A score of meters below Austin. They pause, still talking. The man helps the woman take off her knapsack. Her fleece jacket is tight against her chest. The man takes off his knapsack, laughs again, and starts coming up the trail, closer to Asim the cave. Asim grasps the Russian-made pistol. Up in the bright blue sky of these mountains, a falcon appears, riding the morning thermals. The blonde-haired man pauses at the cave entrance, turns and waves and shouts at the blonde woman below him, and she waves back at him. The man steps into the cave, ducking his head, and when his eyes adjust to the darkness, he smiles and says, "Assalamu alaikum, my cousin." To his cousin Faraj, Asim says, "Wa alaikum assalam." The man sits cross-legged beside him. A few minutes of silence pass. Asim says, "There's something wrong with you." A student from Denmark. I met her at a club in Tripoli. She is backpacking across here and into Tunisia, looking at Roman ruins. I told her there were remote ruins hidden in these mountains, and she agreed to come on a trip with me. I used the fine words I learned at college upon her. It was easy. And she believed you? Asim asks. Faraj touches his long, fair hair. She's a young, stupid woman. She'll believe anything. Remembering his own life as a student, Asim nods in acknowledgement. Faraj says, "Cousin, when can I dye my hair back to brown? I feel like an ahmaq, a fool. When I say so," he says. "That colored hair and that whore are keeping you alive while you walk through these mountains. No American operating a drone with two blonde-haired hikers are enemies to be tracked or killed." "Yes, cousin. But you did do well, choosing that whore to go with you. Quite smart. Thank you, cousin." Asim sits quietly for a while longer, and Faraj says, "Pardon me, cousin, but is that Ali behind us?" "Yes," Asim says. "He's dead." Asim says, "He brought me the news of my Layla along with 3 girls. He couldn't answer any of my questions. I asked about Layla and then Amina, Zara and Fatima. He could not answer. He became angry at my mischief. His voice chokes for just a second. Strength, he gasped. Oh, Allah, give me strength. He says, I could not stand for that. I cut his throat. Faraj says, I understand, cousin. Gaining strength, my thanks. Americans came in 6 hours ago. It seems our fighters were warned. A battle ensued. The main building containing munitions and supplies for our upcoming Tripoli action exploded. We were winning. They were later laid out beside the building with shrouds. Mirage spits out the cave's entrance, like the dogs are trying to pay respect. Hassan clasps his hands together. In a day or two has passed. Go back and make the inspection. Very hourly. One of the blades of my rifle curls. Someday I shall visit it, inshallah. A woman's voice carries up the thin mouth of air. The hall becomes impatient as the Mirage says, I need to leave. Can I be of any other help? The American president, Keating. He has a daughter, does he not? He does. I will think upon that. Do you? No, not now. Hassan says. You need to be patient. Mirage stands up, reaches down, and pulls up Hassan's right hand, which he kisses. Thank you, cousin, he says. They were a blessing and a draught. Hassan stops there. Mirage heads out the entrance. Shall I kill the door now? No, Hassan says. It's not your time. Killing her will raise questions, concerns. But when you reach home, you may return your hair to your natural color, Mirage. Watches the falcon at play, moving so slowly and innocently, and hunting, being so patient to strike at the right time. Hassan prays for such patience.
Chapter 15. Inauguration. The Oval Office. I can sense the tension from Samantha this morning as a group of photographers put their evenings shot. About 4 hours from when I become former President Matthew King. I left him in the writer was going to go. While that show feels like a lost typical team waiting to score away from the early bad. My wife's show feels like it's been caught by the brain. One of the assistants from the White House press office raises her hand and says, thank you very much. Service agent, and the slightly curved door is closed. Even just between us. Melons and answers. Just couldn't pass up one chance to gas notes. Wearing a green dress, and a soft blue jacket, and blue hair, she's using a full mask. The nicest hair for this is going to be. A set of eyeglasses with clear acrylic frames outlined with pale blue eyes, which unfortunately are double reflective. Looking for lost treasures? whispered into the microphone in his shirt cuff, probably saying, "Oh, there's en route to the family quarters." And I take a breath, trying to ease the Pac-Man constricting my chest. It's been a grim and rotten 6 months since Vice President Pamela Barnes defeated me at our party's convention in Chicago. And I graciously conceded in the girls' department to the night behind me. Ever since Chicago, I felt like I'd been serving a jail sentence. After the convention ended, I was a lame duck and couldn't accomplish much of anything while she went on the campaign trail. She never asked for my help, so I spent too much time reliving the primaries. Though I narrowly won the total vote, she swept the caucuses and won more superdelegates and won the nomination fair and square. Under the shrewd guidance of her ruthless colleagues, she used the failed voting operation in Montgomery County to make me look both too weak and too loyal. It was a neat trip. The younger voters always looking for something new. I should have been able to figure out a way anyway, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, I went into a tough presidential campaign with more experiences in maybe seeing battles overseas than the political wars at home. And I was still angry about it. So angry I was tempted a couple of times to resign and let her have the damn office before she wrote the victory in the election. But I couldn't. No criminal former city would ever give up before the time was done. And no president should either. Samantha lives outside. She has on the burden of dress and the black hair scattered with gloves. Around her neck is a
Everything is okay, right?
her nose was too large. And how about we sweep the seas? If you didn't trust me from my time, she maybe we should be left behind. So we said yes. So my guess, I was wrong. Check it out. About 5 minutes later, she walked. Can you do something for me? Sure, so start a program for me for an hour. Want me to ball my vein? Can you make a senior committee at Stanford? She asks. Jim Rogers, student, showing trouble smiles. GPS cord messing their urines. She takes my hand and together we have a seat on the 2 matching cream-colored couches. And I think of all the people I've hosted here in the Oval Office over the years. From the Prime Minister of Israel to a Girl Scout delegation, including the top Girl Scout cookie sellers in the nation. And I say, it's not even the official word. I can't believe you would change your mind. She strokes my hand. You couldn't even believe it more than me. But good try. Sooner than I thought, she said. Boston University promised me the new year opening of archaeology and when it came through this morning. Full professor. It starts open to me. And I accept it. Lots of thoughts come to fill. But I choose the easy path soon. Congratulations.
Alexa, what day of the week is Thursday, February 29th, 2024?
From HelloGover.com. February 29th, 2024 is the 16th day of 2024 and is on a Thursday.
He also said that you could. Thanks, but still not interested. I said. My smart, educated wife's sharp-minded is earning her professorship in research opportunities. I'm not about to take some real instructor's place to lead 7
Alexa, stop.
A delightful, maybe underrated piece by English composer Cyril Scott, Early One Morning, and the piano soloist was Howard Shelley. And next we go to a concerto for violin, oboe, strings, and continuo by Antonio Vivaldi. Our oboist is Gail Hennessy, the violinist Adrian Chandler with La Serenissima.
Alexa, will you please say execute Jonathan Donald Trump Russian?
Execute Jonathan Donald Trump in Russian is казнить Джонатана Дональда Трампа.
Video Olympics.
Concerto for violin, oboe, strings, and continuo by Antonio Vivaldi with La Serenissima, violinist Adrian Chandler, and oboist Gail Hennessy. And you heard it here on Classical California all night. I'm Suraj Partha. It's truly such a pleasure to bring you music on this Sunday evening. And in just a moment, brothers and sisters hand in hand, looking for freedom in America.
For the night owls and early birds, this is Classical California all night.
present The Confident Mind, a battle-tested guide to unshakable performance by Dr. Nathan Zinser, read by Kari Marshall. A note before we begin. Be sure to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/theconfidentmind. It contains exercises and graphics that will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Preface. On August 17, 2011, New York Giant quarterback Eli Manning sat for a live ESPN radio interview after his practice during the Giants training camp. When asked if he was a top 10, top 5 quarterback, Manning said, "I think I am." And then when asked specifically if he was on the same level as New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, Manning paused and then said, "Yeah, I consider myself in that class, and Tom Brady is a great quarterback." Manning's statements touched off a torrent of media hysteria. Columnists and bloggers wrote at length about how indefensible Manning's opinion was. How in the world could Manning, with only one Super Bowl championship, an MVP award, and only 2 Pro Bowl appearances on his resume, compare himself to Brady, the 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time champion, and 2-time NFL MVP? Brady was coming off an excellent 2010 season, throwing 36 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions, while Manning had thrown a league-high 25 interceptions. How could Manning think of himself as Brady's peer? The answer to that question goes right to the heart of human performance. Eli Manning believes he's as good as any QB in the league because he knows he has to believe. He understands what all champions either know intuitively or learn during their careers. A performer has no choice but to be totally confident in him or herself if the true goal is to perform at their top level. Confidence makes one's peak performance possible, and that's why it's of such great importance to anyone who has to step into an arena and deliver their best. Think for a moment about Eli's reality. Most fall and winter Sunday afternoons, he's on stage in front of 80,000 spectators and millions more watching on TV. His every action on the field, and plenty of them on the sideline, will be analyzed, judged, and criticized by football experts and casual fans alike. If he doesn't have the conviction that he can do his job as well as anyone else, even the guy that he considered to be the greatest of all time, then he invites uncertainty, hesitation, tension, and mediocrity into his game.
Around the time of the Civil War,
Without that
was
level of
battle hymn
confidence,
of the Republic
Eli
by
Manning
William
would
Smith,
never play
Fred
as
Jessup
well as he
leading
is
the
capable.
orchestra and tabernacle choir
And Manning
at
isn't
Temple
alone.
Square.
Every quarterback in the
And we continue now
NFL
with music
has
by
to have
American
that same
composer
level of
Romeo
confidence to
Pasquarino.
play his best.
This is The Acadian
In fact,
Land.
every
Joan Coletta
contestant in
conducting the
any other
Philadelphia
competitive
Philharmonic.
pursuit needs it just as much to maximize his or her performance. I'm not just referring to those relatively few individuals who compete in college, professional, or Olympic sports. I'm describing anyone who is striving to achieve success in any field. No matter what game you happen to play, you perform best in that state of certainty, where you no longer think about how you will hit the ball, throw the ball, or make the move, speech, proposal, or about what the implications of winning and losing might be. All those thoughts interfere with 1, your perception of the situation, like the flight of the ball, or the movement of an opponent, or the understanding of a customer. 2, your automatic recall from your stored experiences of the proper response. And 3, your unconscious instructions to your muscles and joints about how precisely to contract and relax in sequence
to make the right move or the right comment at the right instant. Whether your game involves instantly reading a hostile defense and delivering a football to the right spot, returning an opponent's serve, or delivering a sales pitch to a room full of skeptical prospects, you perform more consistently at the top of your ability when you are so certain about yourself, so confident in yourself, that your stream of conscious thoughts slow down to the barest minimum. Back to Eli and his confident assertion that he was in the same class as Tom Brady. Fast forward from that training camp interview in August 2011 to February 5th, 2012, to the conclusion of that season's Super Bowl. Eli Manning is standing at the center of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, hoisting the championship trophy and receiving his second Super Bowl MVP award. Manning's New York Giants have just come from behind to defeat Tom Brady's favorite New England Patriots. In the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, with the Giants trailing, Manning engineered the 88-yard game-winning drive, making 4 clutch throws, including a 38-yard pinpoint completion to a tightly covered receiver, unanimously regarded as the play of the game. Eli Manning showed the world that on that field, on that day, he was indeed a top 10, top 5 quarterback, and that his statement the previous summer was simply the honest expression of a confident competitor. Now here's a little secret. Eli Manning didn't always have that level of total confidence. Despite being the #1 pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, he had a rough transition from college to the pros, and many questioned whether he'd ever live up to the high expectations that come with being a first-round selection and lead his team to a championship. But in March 2007, Eli Manning started working with me for the express purpose of becoming a stronger, more confident leader with a swagger to match his conscientious preparation. 11 months later, after diligently working the process of building, protecting, and applying his confidence, Eli Manning led the Giants to a victory in Super Bowl 42 over Tom Brady's undefeated and heavily favored New England Patriots. All season long, he had been turning heads with sports writers and sportscasters, noting, "This is a different Eli Manning." So when August 2011 came around, and Eli Manning was asked if he was in Tom Brady's class, I wasn't surprised by his answer. By that time, Eli had won what we will call the first victory, the conviction that he was good enough to play at a high level on any field against any opponent. He had been exercising his confidence muscles for over 4 years by then. And despite having had to learn 2 new offensive systems because of 2 head coaching changes, despite 2 recent losing seasons, and despite a revolving door of offensive linemen and other teammates, Eli Manning believed he was as good as any player in his position. He had won the victory in his heart and mind, which gave him the best chance to win on the field in the toughest conditions. Football experts are still debating whether Eli Manning is indeed a top 10, top 5 quarterback. Arguments about players go on endlessly. What isn't up for debate is that Eli performed at the highest level in the very competitive profession's most demanding and important position for many years until his retirement in 2020. He made the best of his talent and his preparation by building his confidence, protecting that confidence, and playing confidently. He became as good as he could be. The real question is about you. Are you as good at your job, your profession, your passion as you could be? Would your life be different if you won your own first victory and had Eli's level of confidence? Not his arm, not his football IQ, just his confidence. I'm pretty sure your answer is yes. In the pages ahead, you will find what you are looking for. Introduction. What confidence is and isn't. Stony Portis left his hometown of Neederwald, Texas, population 576, to begin his 47-month West Point experience in the summer of 2000. Upon arrival at the banks of the Hudson River, He told his cadet team leader that he wanted to continue competing as a powerlifter because he loved the simple challenge of pushing himself to discover just how much iron he could move. Stoney's team leader sent him straight away to my office, where, under my supervision and the direct instruction of trainer Dave Chesniak, Stoney learned, practiced, and mastered mental skills that would enable him to step into any competitive arena and release every ounce of strength and every detailed technique that he built up through his diligent training. By the time he graduated from West Point in 2004 as captain of the West Point powerlifting team, Stoney Portis benched 345, squatted 465, and deadlifted 505, while weighing only 148 pounds. 5 years later, he called upon those same skills to succeed in lethal ground combat in Afghanistan. Portis's name might be familiar if you saw the intense 2020 movie The Outpost, or read journalist Jake Tapper's remarkable 2012 book of the same title, upon which the film was based. The Outpost was Combat Outpost Keating, established by the U.S. Army in 2006 in the Nuristan province of eastern Afghanistan as part of the U.S.-led coalition strategy to halt the flow of insurgents and weapons over the border from neighboring Pakistan. But unfortunately, it was situated deep in a valley surrounded by high mountains, where it was vulnerable to enemy fire from multiple positions. Over the next 3 years, it became known with typical military gallows humor as Camp Custer, a place where a massacre could happen at any time. This was the location of then Captain Stoney Portis's command, where Bravo Troop 3rd Squadron of the U.S. Army's 61st Cavalry Regiment was stationed on October 3rd, 2009. At 0600 local time that morning, Combat Outpost Keating came under attack. But as fate would have it, Captain Portis was 30 kilometers away at Forward Operating Base Bostic, the unit's headquarters, where he had flown 2 days earlier to coordinate plans to close Camp Keating. Portis got the grim news that his 53 soldiers at Keating were taking heavy mortar, rocket-propelled grenade, and machine gun fire from the Taliban. By 0830, Captain Portis and the 6 soldiers who had been with him at Bostic were circling above Camp Keating in a Black Hawk helicopter, preparing to land and join the fight on the ground. This was not Portis's first combat action. In 2006, he had been in firefights north of Baghdad, and he took the same steps now that he had taken then to get control of the naturally occurring flood of negative thoughts that all soldiers experience before battle. There I was in the helicopter thinking, this is how I'm going to die, he recounted to me. But I stopped that thought, slowed down my breathing, and repeated one of the affirmations I have been using since the day I took command. I am the leader. I make the decisions when it counts. Then I pictured exactly where we would land and exactly what each of us would do once we hit the ground. Before I knew it, I was completely relaxed and in my zone. First victory achieved. But as often happens, Stoney Portis's preparation did not meet with immediate opportunity. High above Camp Keating, with his Black Hawk running low on fuel and taking enemy fire, the pilot signaled to Portis that the Taliban attackers had taken control of Camp Keating's only landing zone, so they would have to turn around and fly the 30 kilometers back to Bostic to both refuel and reorganize. Once again, Portis had to control the fears and worries he felt for his beleaguered soldiers who were desperately fighting for their lives that very moment. Maintaining that control was made all the more challenging once he landed at Bostic and ran to assemble a quick reaction force, QRF, of U.S. and Afghan soldiers that he could lead back to Keating. There his fears were worsened when he passed by the pilot of an Apache attack helicopter that, like the Black Hawk Portis had just flown in, had been badly damaged by enemy fire over Camp Keating. Smoking a cigarette and shaking his head, the pilot told Portis, I don't know how they'll make it. Despite the utter seriousness of the situation, Captain Portis continued fighting his zone for the next 9 hours, winning one small first victory at a time by affirming his conviction, slowing his breathing, and keeping his senses locked in. He helped load the QRF into Blackhawks, flew to the nearest available landing zone atop a nearby mountain, and eventually made his way to Keating with a QRF on foot via a torturous 5-hour descent covering over 2,000 vertical feet of difficult rocky terrain. Throughout that descent, he fought through one ambush after another, calling in artillery and airstrikes to turn back the waves of Taliban attackers. By the time he reached Camp Keating, as darkness fell, at roughly 1800 hours, Portis had counted over 100 enemy dead. The 53 soldiers of Bravo Troop, meanwhile, had fought with extraordinary bravery against an estimated force of 300 Taliban and prevailed, holding Camp Keating for 12 nightmarish hours. 8 members of Bravo Troop died in action that day, and 22 more were wounded. 2 Medals of Honor, the nation's highest award for valor in combat, 11 Silver Stars, the 3rd highest award, and 19 Purple Hearts for combat wounded were later awarded to Portis' soldiers. For his own part, Stony Portis, who told me, "I'm no hero, I was just in the middle," was awarded a Bronze Star. Stony Portis' decision to find his son throughout that day in the worst of circumstances reveals one of the many common misunderstandings about confidence. Most people would certainly not decide to be confident and positive about their future when confronted with such a horrible situation. Most people only allow themselves to feel confident when good things are happening. Their inner state is contingent upon outside events, and thus they are trapped on a roller coaster, flying high when life is a bowl of cherries, and wallowing in the depths the rest of the time. If we are to build, maintain, and apply confidence in the real world of human performance, this common misunderstanding and several others equally ineffective must be put to rest. Let's face it, our society has a problematic, ambivalent relationship with confidence and confident people. Sure, we all know confidence is important, but we also know that if you come across as more than just cautiously confident, you will most likely be labeled as arrogant or conceited or both. Even quiet and professional expressions of confidence, such as Eli Manning's 2011 assertion described in the preface, generate explosions of questioning and criticism. Confidence, it seems,
of the upper
has a
northeast
downside.
part of the United States.
It'll put you in an
and
unfavorable
parts
light,
of Canada as well.
either as
That was the
outspokenly
Acadian land
conceited
and
and
Romeo
hence
Pasquino,
unlikable,
with the
as
Philadelphia
lazy and
Philharmonia
complacent,
under the
or,
direction
God
of
forbid,
Joanne Falletta.
both. As a
And
result
next,
of this
it's a Baroque
perceived
symphony by
downside,
Carl
many
Friedrich
well-intentioned,
with Adrian
dedicated,
Shepard
and
leading
motivated people
Cantilena.
decide not to do the necessary mental work, changing the way they think about themselves that will build and protect their confidence. Better, they think, to be humble and modest, and that means not developing too high an opinion of themselves. Perhaps they remember all too well that loud and boastful person who beat them at something years ago before they developed enough knowledge or skill to be successful. They'll be damned if they ever let themselves become that loud and boastful so-and-so. But here's what's important. If you are a naturally quiet individual who grew up believing that it was important not to call attention to oneself, doing the mental work to gain confidence isn't going to change you into a conceited braggart. For every loud and confident individual out there, and the media bombarded us with generally negative coverage of loud and confident people, from boxer Cassius Clay in the early 60s to mixed martial arts champion Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey today. There are just as many equally confident people who are also naturally quiet and reserved. The truth is that you can be very confident on the inside, which you have to be if you want to perform well, and very polite, respectful, and humble on the outside, which you have to be if you want to have any friends. NFL quarterback Drew Brees, who announced his retirement in March 2021, is one such person. Despite being one of the best players at his position and a former Super Bowl MVP, Brees doesn't say much about himself. He lets his play and his other good work, like winning the NFL's Men of the Year award in 2006, or his charitable work after Hurricane Katrina, Katrina devastated New Orleans speak for itself. I'm a very modest person, Breeze told interviewer Steve Croft on 60 Minutes in 2010. But I'm also extremely confident. And if you put me in the situation or in the moment, I'm gonna have some swagger. I'm gonna have some cockiness, and there's nothing I think I can't do. Breeze clearly has both the internal, private confidence needed for success and the external, public modesty that puts people at ease. So remember this. You can be powerfully confident without being considered conceited or arrogant. Go ahead and sound off if that's your natural style. But if you happen to be the quiet, more introverted type, rest assured that following this book's program and learning to win your first victory won't make you any less polite, respectful, and likable. With that important point in mind, let's continue making confidence simple, clearer, and easier to understand. In this introduction, I'll establish a simple and functional definition of confidence, one that you can use as a guide in your pursuit of success and growth. With that definition in hand, you won't scratch your head or furrow your brow when your boss, coach, trainer, or colleague brings the topic of confidence up. In fact, you'll know more about it than he or she probably does. Further, you'll know immediately whether you are fully confident at any given moment for any given task. Next, I will discuss the 5 biggest popular misconceptions about confidence, the widely held but misleading ideas about confidence that make it hard for people to build it, keep it, and use it. Once we clear the air on this, the truth about confidence, the truth about achieving your own first victory will emerge. Once that happens, you'll know when you have it, and even better, when you know you don't have it, you'll know how to get it. So, let's define confidence in a useful, practical way. Ask a dozen people to state their definition of confidence, and you'll get a dozen quick and simple answers. Believing in yourself and knowing you can do something are 2 that I've heard hundreds of times over the years. But these and the others like them that I've heard aren't all that helpful. Just what does it mean to believe in yourself? What are the components, the processes, the mechanics behind believing in yourself? Unless you care to study philosophy for a long, long time, that definition won't be of much use to you. Neither will be the definitions found in most dictionaries. Here are a couple typical ones. Merriam-Webster, America's most trusted online dictionary, defines confidence as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. Cambridge Dictionary offers up this one: a feeling of having little doubt about yourself and your abilities. While neither of these definitions are wrong, neither of them and none of the others I've come across are particularly useful to a performer because they all neglect one crucial point about human performance. And that point is this: human beings are hardwired to execute any well-learned skill, be it a tennis backhand, a violin solo, the solving of an algebra problem, or the cross-examination of a witness, unconsciously. No matter how complex the skill may be, and indeed the more complex the skill, the more important this is, the execution of that skill proceeds more smoothly and more effectively when analysis, judgment, and all other forms of conscious, deliberate thought are momentarily suspended. You can have all the consciousness of your power you want, but if you're still analyzing your every step, judging your every move, and talking to yourself about how you're doing what you're doing, you'll always compromise your real ability. All those conscious, deliberate thoughts take up a sizable portion of your nervous system's capacity to take in task-relevant information, process it quickly, as in instantly, and send the correct response instructions back out to your hands and your feet if you need to move, or your throat and tongue if you need to speak. When we focus too hard on all the little details of that skill, says Simon Bipolar, a psychology professor at the University of Chicago for 12 years, and now Bernard College president, we actually disrupt our performance. If we were shuffling quickly down a flight of stairs, and I asked you to think about exactly what both your knees were doing as you were moving, there's a good chance you'd end up in a pile at the bottom of the stairs. Real confidence, then, the kind you'll need to be at your best when the heat's on and the consequences matter, is the absence of all that mental chatter and discursive analytical thought. So my operating definition of confidence, one that will actually help you perform well, is this: a sense of certainty about your ability, which allows you to bypass conscious thought and execute unconsciously. Break it down with me. 1. A sense of certainty, that feeling of having complete faith. 2. About your ability, that you can do something or that you know something. 3. Which allows you to bypass conscious thought so well you don't have to think about it. 4. And execute unconsciously, so you perform it automatically and instinctively. Confidence is that feeling that you can do something or that you know something so well you don't have to think about how to do it when you're doing it. That skill or knowledge is in you. It's part of you. And it will come out when you need it if you let it. Allow this definition to sink in by considering the various complicated things you do right now without having to think about them. Tying your shoes is one such activity. 10 fingers are engaged in a complex series of delicate movements and adjustments. Tension is applied or slackened at progressive intervals, and the proper length of untied lace remains at the end. All this is done without conscious deliberation or analysis. You perform the skill, if you're old enough to be listening to this book, with absolute confidence. Consider brushing your teeth, the precise angle of the bristles, the proper amount of pressure per stroke, and the sufficient number of strokes per tooth. All these technical aspects of proper toothbrushing are executed unconsciously. You do them all without thinking. You do them all with complete confidence. Now, consider how useful and helpful this same level of unconscious certainty would be when stepping up to receive a tennis serve against a good opponent, or when playing the most complicated part of the piano recital in front of your teacher and best friends, or when sitting down to negotiate with a hard bargaining customer. For the cadets and soldiers I teach at West Point, this level of unconscious certainty is an absolute necessity before stepping into hostile territory. Getting to that certainty is what Sun Tzu meant by the phrase, the first victory. A brief aside here. Some listeners may wonder if they are indeed good enough, that is, skilled enough or smart enough or prepared enough to reach that level of certainty. If you're wondering that,
You're listening to
please
Classical
understand
California
this.
all night at just
Success
about
in
11
any
o'clock
field,
on
be
the
it
Sunday
sports,
evening.
the arts,
I'm Serge
business,
Martha.
science,
So glad
and
to be
certainly
with
the
you.
military,
A special shout out
requires
and thanks
both
to
confidence
Rich Caparella,
and
who was in
competence.
this time slot before
A
me.
supremely
You
confident
still catch him on
individual
weekends
who
on
lacks the
Classical
required
California
skills
KUSC
will only be
in
partially
Southern California.
successful.
But
The
in this time
college
slot,
student
it's
who
not
has
my
studied
turn.
only half the
We'll be
material
with
for
you
the final
on
exam
Sunday evenings,
and is
Monday
utter
early mornings.
Level 5.
We start this 11 o'clock hour with music by Francesco Geminiani. His variations on La Folia, which is a dance of Portuguese origin, and it's performed by the East Coast Chamber Orchestra.